What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. It's a Saturday podcast with you, what's it, Nightmare Mr. Joe Susanna. And it's been a good couple of days for full professional wrestling. And we're going to get straight into things, guys. We're going to go on to the Raw. We're going to go straight on to Raw, I think. Because, like I said, it is the review podcast. I said on Mondays we like to have a chill out, but on Saturdays we like to get straight into reviews. So I have some notes, and we're gonna get into things. So Raw kicked off with Big Daddy Drew McIntyre, of course. He was out there explaining what happened this past week on Monday Night Raw, saying he's not the bad guy, he's the good guy and all this. And to be fair to Drew, he hasn't done anything wrong. That's what I thought. It's like, yeah, Drew, you're doing the right thing here. You're doing the right thing. He said the only reason why he wanted to be on the same side of the Judgment Day to get Jey Uso inside the cage, and with that we have Jey Uso coming out, and Jey's coming out. Yeet, 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 yeet. Out comes Jey, and he's like, yeah, you need to get over the fact that the bloodline screwed you over at Clash at the Castle last September. And that we're gonna take you out and all this. We don't need anything to stop you, Drew. And then he comes down, and Seth comes to help. So does Cody, and then out comes the Judgment Day. And then, of course, right, let's stop this. We have Adam Pearce comes out and says, listen, we're having an advantage match tonight. It's going to be one side versus the other side. You have to tell us by 9 o'clock tonight. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do this. And everyone's banned from ringside for the advantage match. Okay, come back from break. And we have Nia Jax versus Raquel Rodriguez. And like I said, we all knew this match was going to be a load of shit. But Nia Jax wins. Nia Jax wins this match with the Banzai drop. I thought Raquel would have won this. I really do. Because, Raquel's on a big streak at the moment. But Nia Jax wins this match with the Banzai drop, the old Yokozuna finisher. Wow. Couldn't believe it. We had a package then for Xia Li, doing all the Chinese stuff. And then we had a little backstage thing with the Judgment Day. Damian Priest actually wanted to be the member that was going to be picked for the Judgment Day, but it wasn't. It was Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre will be picked for the advantage match. We then have Becky Lynch versus Xia Li. Really good women's match. Really enjoyed it. Becky and Xia Li really went full throttle in this matchup. And in the end, it was Becky who won with the manhandle slam. But I've got to give it to Becky. Got to give it to Xia Li as well. Really good women's match. Really good back and forth women's match. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, Xia Li shouldn't have lost this matchup because she was going into the next night on NXT, going against Lyra Valkyria. But let's face it, she's facing Becky Lynch. She's facing one of the most, one of the greatest women in the game today. So I understand, but we did have a damage control come down after the match. Charlotte, Shotzi, and Bianca come down afterwards to help Becky as well. So we had that. All chaos broke loose. And that was the end of that, basically. But, yeah. I really, if it was up to me, I probably would have said, right, go down the script, and then you'll have damage control come out, and then stop the match. But they want the finish, so that's it. In the back, Kaiser told Vinci to stay in the back. And next we had Kaiser versus Gargano. Kaiser was, to be fair, Kaiser was all over Gargano in this match until Vinci came out and then got distracted, and Gargano hit him with the one final beat DDT for the win. So that was a win for Johnny. Nice win for Johnny. Zoe, yeah, we're going to have a fatal four-way for the women's tag team title. Does anyone really care? No, not really. Zoe was then in the back in the Judgment Days backstage area. She went face to face with Rhea. Of course, Rhea's got so much going on with the Judgment Day. She's forgetting about Zoe Starks. We then had the fatal four-way for the women's tag team titles. Number contendership for the tag titles. Nobody cares. Tegan and Natalya won. Gunther in the background, in the backstage, then told Vinci that he's done well again, and Ludwig Kaiser, he didn't do well again. This is becoming a theme every week. Who cares? And we had Miz come out. Miz coming out saying that he's the man, and we all know you're the man, Miz. Gunther come out. I don't think it was quite the Miz TV, but Miz was basically saying he's going to become 9-time Intercontinental Champion. They didn't actually say to beat Chris Jericho's record. They did say to beat the 9-time championship record. They didn't say Chris Jericho's record, which I didn't think they would, because obviously, we all know Jericho's in AEW. Gunther is literally saying, you're this, you're that, you're this. And Gunther boots the Miz. Puts the title in his face. Miz gets back up. Gives Gunther a low blow. And then gives him a skull-crushing finale. So yeah. Didn't expect that. Didn't expect that at all. Didn't expect that in the slightest, but yeah, Miz gets the upper hand on Gunther going into Survivor Series. Then had Nakamura versus Gable. Good back and forth in this match. We also had, before the match started, Ivar versus Bronson Reed next week. That's going to be a really good match. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, go back and forth, but Nakamura beats Gable with the Kinshasa. Of course, Gable's going to face Noam Dar on NXT. And then main event on Monday Night Raw, we had Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso, of course, for the advantage match. McIntyre won a very hard-fought match with it's quite surprised he won with the Future Shock. After the match, the Judgment Day attacked Jey Uso, went to put him through the table. Out comes Cody, out comes Seth, out comes Sammy. He hit them all with chairs, and Cody gets on the mic and says, listen here, the 5th member of Team Cody will be the Apex Predator. And as we all know, that's going to be Randy Orton. So just before we get into the NXT, I'm going to tell you the ratings for Monday Night Raw. It was a 1.46 million, which is down a bit from last week. And I think it's a 0.49 in the 18 to 49. So that's Raw this week. All right, guys, and we're back. No NXT this week, because I didn't fancy doing it this week. I didn't watch it, so I thought there's no point in me doing it. But we're going to go through SmackDown from last night. Quickly, kick it off with Becky Lynch and her team saying that they're going to win and all this. So this is not going to be the longest podcast this week, because it is my birthday tomorrow. So we will be doing, on Monday's show, we'll be doing review of Survivor Series and This Day in Wrestling. No This Day in Wrestling today. And no NXT. So we'll just go through Raw. And, well, obviously we've just gone through Raw. We'll go through SmackDown as well. Bayley comes out then and says that they got no chance of Team Bianca, technically, I suppose, isn't it? Then sets up a tag team match with Becky and Charlotte. Yes, Becky and Charlotte on the same side. Against Bayley and we'll find out later, Asuka. Come back from break. We have Balor and Priest defending the tag team titles against the Street Profits. I thought this was going to be main event for this week. But obviously turned into the women's match. It was a good little back and forth in this matchup. We didn't expect the Street Profits to win, but he had a good showing in this show. Then had Damian Priest in the late match hit almost like Chris Statlander's move, the tombstone into the slam, tombstone like move into the slam. And then we had Mr. Finn Balor with the coup de grace for the 1, the 2, and the 3. Then had the Grayson Waller effect, which we thought at first was going to be with Kevin Owens. Comes out that Austin Theory was dressed up as Kevin Owens, which was quite funny. They started slagging Kev off, and then Kev comes out and says, I've never looked so good, which I thought was quite funny. And they kept going on about LA Knight, saying they should have beat LA Knight last week, Waller, if it weren't for Kevin Owens. Owens says, well, if you say someone's name enough, they're going to come out. And with that, LA Knight comes out through a thunderous ovation. They both hit Waller and Theory, and then we go to break, and they come back, and of course, it's a tag match. To be fair, I quite enjoyed the tag match. I thought it was quite entertaining. And in the end, it was the Stunner and the BFT for the win for the one and the only Kevin Owens and LA Knight. Yeah, good win for them. Come back from break. Carlito comes out for talk about Santos Escobar, saying that he's going to destroy him at Survivor Series. With that, Santos comes out saying it's all his fault and all this. Didn't see that one coming. They go into a brawl. All the nudes separate them, and then Santos comes back out he went out the stageway, come back through the apron and give a massive knee come back, the guardrail, gives a massive knee to the side of the head. Down he goes. He's probably out for this. He actually came out the old Legado theme as well, which I thought was cool. So I thought was good. We then go to a break then. He comes back, they're in the back, and he hits him again on the arm. They're like, oh, he must have broke his arm and all this. And Dragon Lee helps Carlito, helps Carlito. We then find out later on in the night that it is going to be, Carlito's not going to be able to wrestle. He's not cleared because of his arm. And it's going to be Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar, which I'm very excited to see tonight. I said I might not watch it tonight. I'll probably watch it tomorrow. Because I got my birthday tomorrow. I'm going out with my mother. So I'll probably end up watching it in the evening tomorrow night. And then we'll, obviously I'll review it for the podcast on Monday. Then I'm Pretty Deadly against the Brawling Brute. And Ridge comes out like looking like he's dejected because of last week, because he's like took so many L's. Halfway through the match, Ridge actually walks out on Butch because he's just obviously not in the place. Butch actually done really well, but in the end, he hit Alton Prince with the bitter end, and then halfway through that, he tagged Kit Wilson, tagged himself in, and then gets the win over Butch with a crucifix. So you were going to see Butch versus Ridge down the road. Like I said, then we was told it's Dragon Lee versus at Santos Escobar for tomorrow night, or tonight, I should say. Then the main event here on SmackDown. Like I said, this is not a long podcast this week because we do have Monday's going to be probably a little bit longer this week than usual. Like I said, we will get longer podcasts. Like I said, next week we'll probably do NXT next week and all that. So bear with me, guys. Main event time. It was Becky and Charlotte against Bayley and Asuka. Really good match, really. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And then at the end, Becky hits a manhandle slam, but Charlotte at the same time hits a spear. And Becky was going on Asuka when she was going for the pin. Bayley hits Charlotte, hits Becky, rolls Becky up for the 1, the 2, and the 3. Now normally you'd think, that obviously the women's team are going to win tomorrow night. I don't think that's going to happen. And he went off the air then. Obviously, Charlotte and Becky staring each other out, which was just nice to see. So let's get into the predictions. The only reason why you probably watch this podcast today, because of predictions. Everyone loves a good prediction. It's only 5 matches tomorrow night, unless they add something. And they haven't added anything yet. So 5 matches for Survivor Series, but War Games is only about an hour each, isn't it? So that's probably what that's going to be. So going from Wikipedia here, I'm going to say Gunther is going to go one-on-one with The Miz. I think this is going to be a really good match because I think Gunther can get a good match out of literally anyone. I think Gunther's the best in the business at the moment. Bell to bell, I think Gunther's the best. People could argue Will Ospreay. I would argue as well. But I think it is Gunther the best in the business at the moment. He will beat The Miz in a very good match, I think. Then got Rhea versus Zoe Stark. Once again, I think Rhea's going to retain her championship against Zoe Stark here. I just can't see Rhea losing the belt until at least WrestleMania, and I think that's going to be against Becky. But we'll see. We then got Team Cody against the Judgment Day. Judgment Day been running roughshod over WWE for the last, at least a year now. I think Team Cody wins, and I think the winner who's going to get it is going to be Cody. I think he'll beat someone like Dominic or JD McDonough. We then got Santos Escobar against Dragon Lee. This is going to be hard hitting and very, very fast, I think. And I think Dragon Lee, I really like him, but I think it's Santos' time. And obviously, I think he's going to face Rey Mysterio at Mania. So that's going to be a big win for Santos Escobar. And then it's not going to be the main event, but the main event will be obviously the men's match. But then we've got the women's match, Team Damage Control against Team Bianca. And I think it is going to be a win for Damage Control. Even though Bayley got the win tonight, I think she's still going to get a win. She's still going to get a win, I think. So that's going to do it this week for the podcast. Like I said, not a long podcast this week, guys. About half hour as we have been having these last couple of weeks. But we will be back on Monday. Like I said, I might be a bit sore after my birthday tomorrow, but we'll see. I should be all right. I'm going out with my mother. We'll have a few drinks, I imagine. Celebrate my 36th birthday. If you've got any questions, comments about the podcast, let them down below either on Facebook or YouTube, and I'll answer a few of them on Monday. Of course, if you are looking forward to Survivor Series tonight, let me know as well. Just to let you know, guys, starting from December the 1st on the podcast, I will be putting up posts on my YouTube channel, the community post polls of who you think is going to be Wrestler of the Year, Promotion of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Women's Wrestler of the Year. We will be doing that on December the 1st. Get your votes in, and then on the last podcast of the year, December the 30th, we will be awarding the first ever Newport City Nightmare Podcast Awards. the first award of this podcast. So that's going to be a good one. I'm going to be enjoying that. Like I said, the month of December is usually a bit of a crap one. Now I've got the network back. Not this Monday, because we'll be doing the Survivor Series, obviously the Survivor Series thing. We'll be doing a watch-along, not this Monday, coming the Monday after, for Armageddon 2000. It's going to be our longest podcast of all time. We're going to go through Armageddon 2000. What a pay-per-view that was. So a lot coming up in the podcast. And I hope you're going to join us for all of it. Like I said, give us a like, give us a sub on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. I always put this up on Spotify as well. So I hope you can join me next on this Monday. We'll be doing Survivor Series. And guys, I've been your Newport City Nightmare. And I'll see you when I see you.